Before you speak, before you blink, they've already made up their mind. You didn't say anything wrong. You didn't have to. They already heard everything in the way you paused, the way you smiled, the way you hesitated. Power doesn't begin when you move. It begins when you're seen. And if you think staying quiet keeps you safe, you've already lost. Most people don't see you. They see the benefit, the weakness, the role you might play. In this world, silence isn't absence. It's data. Observation isn't passive, it's dominance. The one who sees without being seen controls everything. You are surrounded by performers, some wear charm, some wear humility, some wear fear like armor and don't even know it. But you're here because you're done being read. You're ready to read back. This isn't a game of tricks. It's a system of pressure, precision, psychological clarity, 18 strategies, each one made to expose the animal behind the human mask. Let's begin. Tactic 1. Watch what they do when no one matters. Want to know who they are? Forget how they treat you. That's rehearsed. Watch how they treat the ones they think are beneath them. The cleaner, the cashier, the invisible. That's when the act dies. When they stop performing and start revealing. If they mock weakness, what happens when you're no longer useful? If they dismiss the silent, what happens when your voice trembles? Machiavelli never trusted words. He trusted patterns, especially the ones people didn't know they had. Tactic 2. Use silence like a blade. Talk less. Let the air tighten. Let them squirm. People speak to escape themselves. Your silence traps them inside. No need to pressure. Just wait. They'll confess. They'll explain. They'll unravel. All because you said nothing. Machiavelli mastered this. The less you reveal, the more they expose. Let the silence speak. Let them fill it with guilt, fear, insecurity. Because silence doesn't make people feel ignored. It makes them feel seen. And that's what they fear most. Tactic 3. Offer nothing. Watch everything. Give no smile, no validation, just presence. Still, blank, immovable. People crave feedback, not because they care, but because it tells them who they are in your eyes. So strip it away. Do they chase harder? Validation junkie? Do they turn cold? Transactional manipulator? Do they stay calm? Dangerous. Controlled. Watching you back. When you remove value, the act falls apart. That's when the truth leaks through. Don't reveal your hand. Make them show theirs, just to stay in the game. Tactic 4. Break their script. Some aren't dangerous because they're loud. They're dangerous because they've rehearsed everything. They've been perfecting a mask for years. So what do? Interrupt the rhythm. Ask the question they weren't expecting. Smile when they expect guilt. Say nothing when they crave praise. Watch the glitch in the system, the panic in their tone, the confusion behind the eyes. That's not discomfort. That's the mask slipping. Performance thrives on predictability. Your unpredictability is the wrecking ball. Tactic 5. Test loyalty with subtle rejection. You want to know who's real? Say no. Nothing big, just something small they expected. Then, wait. Do they stay calm? Rare? Do they distance? There's your answer. Do they retaliate in silence? That was never loyalty. That was dependence. Machiavelli's brilliance was in restraint. He didn't test people by giving. He tested by refusing. Because anyone can love you when you say yes, but only the honest remain when the answer is no. Tactic 6. Follow their attention, not their words. While they talk, don't listen to their mouth. Track their eyes, track their focus. Do they glance at power? They're chasing approval. Ignore the powerless. They crave advantage. Check their phone mid-sentence. You're replaceable. People don't lie with attention. They invest it in what they worship. Words are filters. Attention is raw currency. You don't need to decode what they say. You only need to see what they watch when they think no one's watching them. Tactic 7. Fake a flaw, trigger a truth. Pretend to confess something light. I tend to overthink. I hate confrontation. I was too trusting once. Then stop. Say nothing more. Do they weaponize it later? Opportunist. Do they ignore it? Cold-blooded. Strategic. Do they reveal a flaw in return? That's trust, or at least the desire for it. This isn't honesty, it's bait. You're not exposing yourself. You're watching how they respond to vulnerability, because how they respond to yours tells you everything about theirs. Tactic 8. Make them wait, delay. On purpose. Respond slower. Hesitate. Pull back your urgency. Then, watch. Do they spiral? They need control. Do they rage? They think access is a right? Do they disappear? They were never grounded to begin with. Time is pressure. Machiavelli didn't rush. He waited just long enough to make them question their place in his world. And when uncertainty enters the mind, the manipulator reveals themselves. Not through words, but reactions. Power doesn't chase. It makes others wait and wonder. Tactic 9. Watch who they copy. People mirror what they admire, even when they don't mean to. Watch their language, their tone, their fashion, their posture. Do they copy the powerful? They want control. The popular? They need approval. The virtuous? They want to be seen as good, not be good. Machiavelli understood. Imitation is a confession, a silent plea for identity. And once you see who they wish they were, you can become it or become the gatekeeper to it. Either way, you own the outcome. Tactic 10. Trigger envy with subtlety. You don't need to boast. You don't even need to win. Just mention the thing they wanted. A compliment received, an opportunity given, a door opened without effort. Then, pause. Do they smile too fast? Change the topic too quickly? That flicker wasn't joy. It was a crack. Envy isn't loud. It's quiet. It watches, waits, withholds, then sabotages sideways. Machiavelli feared envy not because it screamed, but because it sharpened the knife in silence. Now that you've seen it, don't ever unsee it. Tactic 11. Ask what they hate. Don't ask what they admire. That's curated, sanitized, fake. Ask what disgusts them, what behavior they despise, what kind of people they can't stand. Because their judgments aren't just opinions, they're projections, echoes of old wounds, fears they haven't faced, the one who despises arrogance, starving for respect, the one who mocks weakness, punished for ever being soft. You're not just hearing complaints, you're watching pain dressed as principle. Don't correct, don't argue, just listen. The truth isn't in what they say, it's in why they had to say it. Tactic 12. Track when their eyes break. The mouth lies, the face performs, but the eyes, they flee from the truth. Mention shame, mention power, mention failure, then stare, steady, calm, unreadable. Do their eyes dart, blink, freeze? That's not discomfort, that's a fracture. The human gaze always seeks the exit when pain gets too close. That's where the fear hides, that's where the past lives. Machiavelli didn't need confessions, he just needed a flinch. And once you learn to track the break, you'll never be deceived again. Tactic 13. Mirror them. Break the illusion. Don't confront, reflect. Subtly mirror their body language, tone, rhythm. Not to mock, to echo. Just enough to trigger recognition. Then watch. Do they get louder? They've lost control. Do they go cold? They're threatened by reflection. Do they escalate? You've hijacked the frame. People don't show their truth directly. They show it in how they react when their performance loses oxygen. You didn't overpower them. You became them. And that's what terrifies them. Tactic 14. Respect first. Strike second. Disarm with admiration. You strike me as someone who's hard to shake. You seem sharp, controlled. Then, cut. So what are you hiding behind all that composure? What are you trying to protect? The ego relaxes when praised. That's when it becomes vulnerable. And vulnerability is how you breach the mask. Machiavelli didn't destroy strength. He praised it. then rewrote the rules while they smiled. Let them feel seen, then show them who they really are. Tactic 15, say no. Watch what stays. Say no, gently, calmly, without apology, not to punish, to reveal. Do they respect it? That's rare. Do they withdraw? Transactional. Do they lash out? You were never chosen, just used. Rejection isn't cruelty, it's revelation. Most people don't want connection. They want comfort, access, proximity to power. Say no, not to be cold, but to find out who was real. Tactic 16, detect their real audience. When they talk, ask yourself, who are they performing for? Themselves? Their ex? Their boss? Some imagined judge they fear? Their jokes? Their tone? Their morals? Most of it isn't aimed at you. It's a performance for someone they hope is watching. Machiavelli never asked, do they like me? He asked, who owns their mind? Once you detect that invisible audience, you can play to it or block it entirely. Either way, you've taken the wheel. Tactic 17, feed their identity, then rewire it. People don't act on logic, they act on identity. Let them define themselves. I don't quit. I'm loyal to a fault. I hate dishonesty. Then feed that identity back to them, strategically. I brought this to you because you're the one who always delivers. I know you see through lies. That's why I trust your judgment. You're not convincing them, you're reinforcing them. And they'll betray their own comfort just to remain consistent with the story they've told. Give them the story, then write the ending yourself. Tactic 18, let them win first, then own the ending. Let them talk first. Suggest the idea, take the credit, then steer the direction, quietly, unseen. Let them believe they led. You control the soil, the sun, the structure. This isn't manipulation, it's orchestration. They wear the crown, you draw the map. They win, but you own the ending. Because true power isn't about control. It's about never needing recognition to have it. You didn't come here to be liked. You came to see through people, through performance, through the lies they don't know they're telling. Now you see it, the cracks, the projection, the fear. You know what they're chasing, what they hide, what they can't fake. This is psychological power, not loud, not public, not flashy, quiet, calculated, precise. Now I ask you, which tactic exposed something you've seen before? Or worse, something you've done? Drop it in the comments. Let them guess who you're really talking about. Because the final tactic is this. While everyone's watching the room, you're watching the game. And when they think they're leading, you're already 3 moves ahead. Not because you shouted, but because you saw. That's the move, your move. If you've made it this far, you're not just scrolling, you're searching for something deeper. Thanks for trusting me with your mind. If this spoke to you, like the video, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their power. Until next time, stay sharp and think deeper.